All right, so it looks like you're getting ready to launch a business.
Always an exciting time.
It is.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing from your notes, you're really focused on forming an LLC,
Uh-huh.
specifically in Colorado.
Good choice. A lot of folks are heading that way.
Seems to be the place to be. And even better, you found this resource, www.incauthority.com,
Oh, yeah. They're great.
which it looks like they can streamline this whole process for you
Yeah.
and maybe even make it free.
That's right.
So before we even get into that,
Okay.
let's talk about why would you even want to form an LLC
Sure.
in the first place? Like, what are the advantages?
Well, I think the biggest one that most people are thinking about when they form an LLC is to protect their assets.
Mm-hmm.
You're starting a business. You don't want to put your personal house or your car
Quite
on the line.
everything you've worked for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So an LLC is going to create that separation between your business
Right.
and your personal assets.
That peace of mind is probably priceless for most people.
Absolutely.
Getting started.
Yeah.
Now, I also see in your notes you have things about credibility and taxes.
Yes.
So can you kind of tell me what's going on with those?
Well, when you form an LLC, it kind of gives you instant credibility, if you're going by John Smith
Right.
versus, John Smith LLC.
It sounds more official.
Exactly. It just gives you a little bit more legitimacy when you're dealing with clients and things like that.
And investors, too? With
Well,
them.
especially investors, right?
Yeah.
It just shows that you're serious about your business.
Makes sense.
And then with taxes, it gives you a lot more flexibility as well.
Oh, okay.
You can be taxed as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, S Corp, C Corp.
Wow. So many options.
So it just depends on, your situation in your business. You
Gotcha.
can kind of choose what makes the most sense for you.
So I'm also seeing here in your research on Colorado that there's this unique thing with LRCs called publication.
Oh, yeah?
Can you tell me what that is?
Yeah. So Colorado is one of the few states that actually requires you to publish a notice in the newspaper
What?
that you formed your LLC.
Why do they do that?
So that's just kind of their way of keeping things transparent.
Gotcha.
They want people to know who's doing business in Colorado.
So like creditors or anybody that might need to know?
Exactly. And it's just kind of an extra step that they have there.
So obviously doing that in the newspaper costs money.
Yes, you have to pay to have it published.
So are there fees associated with this whole publication thing on top of just the regular LLC fees?
Yes. So you have filing fees for your LLC, and then you also have publication fees.
Okay, so that's where this www.incauthority.com comes in.
Exactly.
You were saying that they can actually help you with all of that.
Yeah,
Can you tell me how?
absolutely. So what Inc. Authority does is they actually act as your registered agent
Okay.
in Colorado, which is required to have a registered agent. And so they basically handle all the paperwork for you.
So they do all the filing, they do all the publication.
All of it, yes.
That's amazing.
So it makes it super easy for you, and it's just one less thing that you have to worry about.
And potentially even saves you money.
Yes, and potentially saves you money too.
Okay, so I know we've been talking a lot about LLCs, but somebody out there might be thinking, is an LLC right for me?
Yeah.
What are some of the factors that someone should consider when making that decision?
Well, I think you really need to consider your own personal risk tolerance. If you're doing something that's not very risky,
Okay.
maybe a sole proprietorship is fine for you, but if you are doing something that has a little bit more risk involved,
Right.
you definitely want to have that liability protection.
Makes sense.
So, and then also you want to consider your future plans.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you might want to take on investors or partners down the road, an LLC is going to make that a lot easier.
Okay, so what if you start in Colorado,
Yeah.
but then you want to expand to other states?
Then you would just register as a foreign LLC in those other states.
Okay, and so is that like a whole big process?
It's not too bad. You just have to file some paperwork with each state.
Okay,
It varies from state to state.
gotcha. So before we wrap up, are there any like common mistakes or pitfalls that people should avoid when setting up their LLC?
Yeah, I would say one of the biggest ones is not keeping your personal and business finances separate.
Okay.
You really want to make sure that you have separate bank accounts.
So you're not commingling those funds.
Exactly, and that just kind of helps to protect you down the road.
And then what about ongoing compliance? Like, is there anything that people need to be aware of?
Yes, so most states require you to file an annual report
Okay.
and pay an annual fee.
And what happens if you don't?
You could get fined, or even worse, you could lose your LLC status.
Oh, wow, that's a big deal.
So you definitely want to make sure that you stay on top of that.
Okay, so to kind of recap, it sounds like forming an LLC in Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
gives you that liability protection,
Yes,
adds credibility,
that's right.
provides some tax flexibility,
Excellent.
and just overall, Colorado seems to have a pretty business-friendly environment.
It does. They're very supportive of small businesses.
That's awesome. And then on top of all of that, you have this amazing resource in www.incauthority.com
Yeah, they can really help you out.
that can help you through every step of the way
Yeah,
and potentially even save you money.
exactly.
Awesome. Well, any final thoughts?
I would just say don't forget about the heart of your business. It's great to have the legal structure in place, but ultimately,
Right.
it's your idea and your passion that's going to make your business a success.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
Well, I would encourage anyone out there listening who's thinking about starting a business to check out www.incauthority.com.
definitely a good resource.
See what they have to offer. Best of luck with your entrepreneurial journey.
Good luck.
Thanks for joining us,
Thank you.
and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Bye.